We've got a few dahlia tips today on pots and trowels, and that's brought to you with the support of Cobra Garden and King Seeds. Hello and welcome to Pots and Trowels, and here we are now in early October in the garden, and after that really long hot dry summer the gardens have suddenly perked up. We've had some rain over the last month which has really greened everything up, got everything growing again, and the flowers are looking good for the time of the year. And if the weather stays mild, which it's forecast to with a fair bit of sun over the next few weeks, the garden should continue maybe right the way through the month looking good. And just casting my eye around the board here, we've got, lovely abelia flowers on the shrub. We've got various types of roses, just of the deadheads on the hydrangeas, which I still think look attractive. Different types of Michaelmas daisies. We've got stackies, salvias, we've got goras, more Michaelmas daisies, dahlias. There's a whole range of plants in here, and as long as we keep things like the roses deadheaded and pick a few others off, they'll keep flowering, as I say, for several more weeks, and then we're starting to get the autumn tints and the lovely grasses coming through as well. So great time to be out and enjoy the garden. But I did promise a few tips on dahlias, so what I'm going to do is pop over to the front garden and just show you how you can keep your dahlias flowering for many, many more weeks. The dahlias that I'm growing in the garden this year are all grown from seed. I haven't bought any cuttings or any tubers. I'm not growing the big double ones. I'm just growing the simple single flowered types like this one. And the two varieties I'm growing are Bishop's Children and this lovely one here, which is called Black Forest Ruby. Really, really easy to sow from seed. And you don't have to worry about saving the tubers because you can just start again with some more seed. So it does make it much easier for you. And the reason I like them, apart from the beautiful colours, is they are great for attracting bees and other pollinating insects into the garden. And here we are now, it's in October, just into October, and we've still got bees flying around feeding on these wonderful flowers. So this one is Bishop's Children. These are all out of one packet of seed, and what a lovely mixture we've got there. We've got lovely apricot colours, pale yellows, reds, this lovely sort of cerise colour there, all these from the one packet, and so easy to sow. And this one here is the one that is the Black Forest Ruby. Now, this is the first time I've grown this one. This one is really dark foliage, hence the name Black Forest. It's probably the darkest of all the foliage ones that we can grow, with again these beautiful red flowers here, single exposing the anthers there in the middle. So great to grow, and you can keep them flowering and flowering and flowering. They're probably flowering better now in early October than they were back in August when we had all that heat. That just sort of suppressed the growth. So I'm going to pop those down. They can go into the house, make a lovely bunch of flowers for the house, a bit of foliage from the garden, and they'll last for a week or so, and then I can pick a few more. So pop those there. And I've got this one here. This is another one from Bishop's Children. This one has grown a bit taller for some bizarre reason. It's suddenly decided to grow, and still lots of flowers and lots of buds on there. And I'm very often asked about how you deadhead your dahlias, because it's sometimes can be quite difficult to decide which is the old flower and which is the bud. Unlike others where the flower just wilts, you are then left with a seed pod. So a good example is here. Obviously these have still got a bit of flowering to do on here, but if we look at this one here, so we've got this one is still to open, but this one here that looks like it's a bud is actually, it's got the telltale signs of the old petals there. It is the dead flower inside. So what we do is this one has got more of a pointed head on it, whereas this one that is rounder is the one that will open to the flower. So what we would do is just literally deadhead these, and it's still worth doing it even at this time of the year. Good example again here, we've got a flower on there and these two flowers have already gone over, so we can take those off and get rid of them. Whereas below here now we've got these very flat round ones that are still going to flower, and I'm going to sacrifice that one just to prove that's right, because if I open that up we can see there that the petals are all in there and the flower is in there, so it may still open. So it's just take a bit of care. Look, we've got a little bee there just come to have a little feed on this lovely dahlia here. He's just having his breakfast in the garden and off he goes. So by going round them, taking off these dead ones like this, they don't look unattractive, but what they do is they stop more buds forming, and the more we can do that, the longer we can keep them flowering, as long as the weather stays mild. And then come winter, when we get some heavy frosts, sort of late, maybe November time, these will blacken and die down. You can, if you want to, leave them in and risk it, depending where you live, of course. If you live somewhere mild, you can cut them down and maybe they will survive and grow back. But what I'm going to do is just take them out, and then I shall sow some more seed and we'll plant young plants out next year, and that way we can keep the vigour and keep them really strong and growing. But for now, it's snips out and get rid of all those dead flower heads. Well, thank you for watching Pots and Trowels, and remember, all the videos and our weekly podcasts can be found on YouTube, where you can subscribe for free. We're going to be in the greenhouse next week talking carnivorous plants and repotting some sarracenias, so we'll see you then. Bye.